everyone, it's Amy. Welcome back to my channel, and this will be Amy Answers Q&A number 18. The first question is by Justine Susie. Do you have any tips for saving money? Like, how do you budget or save up for a bag? So I wrote down 3 points that I wanted to, I guess, point out or suggest. They're pretty generic, but that's just my answer, I guess. So number 1 is have a wish list and work on one item at a time, obviously, and see what timeline you want to sort of, you know, more or less acquire that bag. Say it costs $1,000 and you have 10 months to save up for it, then try to save up $100 per month. Just put that money aside whenever you get it. Number 2 is to try to see where you can recuperate money. A lot of times, you know, you have your job and all that, so it's fixed income or whatnot, and you of course have your fixed expenses, but where you can sort of recuperate more money is look at, say, your wardrobe and your accessories. What are the things that you just don't wear and that you can consign, sell maybe? Look at all the bags that you have if you have a collection yourself, and see which ones you're not really wearing and try to buy, like, sell them so that you can, you know, recuperate that money and invest that in your next bag that you know you will use more. Unfortunately, there are times where I buy a brand new bag, I've been obsessing about it, and I finally buy it and I never reach for it. So those are the times where it's more unfortunate because, like, you work so hard at getting it, but then if you're really not going to use it, it's just going to sit there. It's not going to do anything for you, so you might as well just sell it. And I know some people wonder why some of us buy and sell all the time. It's not that we really want to do that, it's just because if once we realize that the bag doesn't work out for us or that it's not what we had in mind, then of course you would rather sell it to, you know, move on and work on your next thing, right? Number 3 is to evaluate where you can actually avoid spending money. So that's kind of different from saving money and also, you know, trying to get money back from stuff that you already own. It's more like see where you can, like, not spend it. So for example, I know that for myself, when I go shopping, for example, I love Banana Republic and they usually have sales quite often, but if I see a t-shirt, say it's like on sale for $10, and you know, it's a basic t-shirt but it looks alright, and $10 is such a great deal, I could buy it. But if every time there is something like that and I buy it, then every $10 that I spend that is, you know, I don't actually need but it's nice to have, then every 10 of those, you basically spent that $100 that you could have saved for your next bag. Just because something is on sale and it's so cheap and such a great deal doesn't mean that you have to get it. Instead, look at whether you really need it. If you don't need it, try to avoid spending that kind of money. And same goes with I don't know, eating out. Instead of ordering drinks can add up quite quickly. And they don't really give you the nutrients, so instead of ordering drinks, just drink water or share a meal. A lot of places, their portions are so big anyway. Even if you're just eating alone, you can doggy bag the rest and have that for lunch the next day, and that way you're kind of stretching your meal, your money. And those are the areas where you can sort of try to, you know, optimize. So those are the tips that I have for you. I find that for me, number 2 and number 3 are very important. Like, of course, number 1 is very important. You have to, like, budget every month. You put aside that money, you don't touch it. But number 3 and number 2 is where you can really get sidetracked. And it's really easy to sort of overspend or to just keep on hoarding things and just, like, you know, those things just sit there and you don't, you know, there's no value if you're not using them. Makeup with Cynthia. She says, I love this crossbody, the Pochette Metis. I might invest in one. Do you still own yours anymore? Yes, I do still have mine. I know that I've been talking about it a lot lately, especially because you guys asked me about it, and mostly pertaining to the, you know, the reoccurring glazing issues that I've been experiencing over the last couple years, I would say. So yes, I still do have this bag. It is, after all, my favorite bag from my LV collection. It might have like rank lower recently just because of the issue, and it just makes me not want to use it as much just because I want to prevent having to get it reglazed or fixed again or looked after again. But in terms of the design and all that, I still love it so much, especially when I bought it and used it the first year when I didn't notice the issues yet. So I will definitely keep it for now at least. And I did purchase another strap, which I will reveal and show you guys, and hopefully that will help with you know, minimizing the issues. But yeah, I still definitely have it. Coco Brownie asks, "Hi Amy, I love this bag. What about the side ear pieces?" And she's referring to the wings, so the side wings on the trapeze, the celine trapeze. "Are those open all the time? I'm just wondering if it rains or snow, is it possible to protect it from getting into the bag?" So it is possible for you to fold in the wings, and it makes the bag look kind of square, which is kind of cute. I don't personally do it. I don't want to like keep on folding and unfolding the wings myself. And I personally wouldn't really wear this bag if it was raining or snowing a lot anyways. I would probably use a reusable shopping bag, put that inside, or I could use my Clover Sack rain jacket, which I reviewed. So if you guys are interested, I will link the video below so you guys can check it out. Jay loves Xbox. "I am 55. Do you think that I'm too old for the Noe baby?" And nope. Hun, I think bags don't really have ages, and I've already replied to you a week ago, but I'll just say it here anyway. I just feel like as long as you're comfortable with the bag and you like how it looks on you and you feel that it's practical and useful and that you would reach for it, I say go for it. In the end, what other people think is their business. I feel like as long as you're comfortable with the bag, and I think it's fine whether you're 55 or 25. And I'm not that young, to be honest, but it is just a number. A lot of my bags look really, really young, and a lot of my bags look like they could be for older ladies, but I don't know. I think it suits my style. I'm comfortable with them, and that's what counts. Another question by Coco Brownie. "May I ask if you ever get a Celine box bag, which leather would you get? Grain goat skin, which is less prone to scratching, or the smooth calf skin, which is more prone to scratching?" I won't say that I contemplated getting one, but I did sort of looked at it because it is, after all, such a classic from Celine. It basically is a crossbody bag with a detachable strap, and it kind of shapes like this. So it's really cute when you detach the strap and kind of carry it as a clutch, although it is kind of thick, so it is kind of like boxy, as the name suggests. I would probably go with the goat skin, which is kind of their pebbled leather. Even though I do think that the calfskin, the smooth calfskin, is so nice and so luxurious, but at this point in my life, and also just how I like to use my bags, I don't feel like babying my bags, and I know for a fact that the calfskin will scratch very easily. And with this particular smooth calfskin on the Celine box bag, it's not something that you can buff such that you won't see the scratches anymore. It will still be there. So I would probably still go with the goat skin, but you never know. I think on the day, if I'm ready to buy one, and if I do get one, then I will probably reevaluate my my choices at that time. But right now I feel like I would probably go with the goat skin. Joanna Carrington, she said on my shawl review video, "Very good review. I definitely contemplate buying one. The only thing I'm struggling is knowing which shawl goes best with damier ebene print. I love denim monogram, but I feel that the pattern is too busy against damier ebene. Would appreciate your thoughts." I have a feeling that you really love the monogram shawl, like the actual, I guess, sort of print aesthetic, if I'm not wrong, but you're just not sure whether to go with denim, because the denim does have the contrast, right? On each side they have like the contrasting color, the white or the blue in my case. So I would suggest going with just the classic monogram shawl. They have one that is tone on tone, especially if you choose a darker color. I personally wanted to get just a plain black one, because I do agree with you that the denim one does sometimes can be a bit loud depending on what you're wearing. So usually when I end up wearing my shawl, it's when I'm just wearing a plain t-shirt and that's it. So yeah, I definitely would suggest going with the classic monogram shawl. So you would still get your monogram print, but it will be not as obvious, especially if you look from afar, unless you're very close and you will see the monogram detail. Jacqueline Sai, roughly translating what she asked, is whether the bag, the Pochette Metis, easily gets damaged and what are the disadvantages. From my personal experience with my bag, so I'm not saying for every other Pochette Metis out there, but with my own, yes, it easily gets damaged because the sides, they do get rubbed by the strap and the hardware on the strap. And I feel like that is definitely a design flaw in a sense, because as beautiful and as sort of functional and roomy as this bag is, so that the actual design of that bag is beautiful, but like the fact that they decided to just do glazing on the flap all around and put a strap that will constantly rub it with the hardware especially, and sometimes get stuck depending on how your the clasp is positioned at the time you're wearing it. It just is, I guess, is very conducive to damage. And the damage we're talking about is obviously the glazing either rubbing off or peeling. And I know I'm not the only one. Like seriously, I know some essays they claim that they've never heard of it and all that, but let's all be real and realistic and just be honest. We know that we hear it more often than we do, and you guys tell me that, so I know I'm not the only one. The disadvantage of such I guess easily reoccurring issue is that, well, it's ugly first of all, but that's just aesthetic. The other problem that I see happening is that without that extra protection from the glazing, then it is just easier for the canvas to start cracking from the edges. There's nothing really holding the canvas there except some stitching and also like a layer of glazing per se. So that's already so minimal, and the fact that it keeps getting rubbed, and if there's no more glazing there, then it just might crack that much more easily and more readily. And once your canvas starts cracking, that's when LV will refuse any repairs. So just keep that in mind. The next few questions here that I have are kind of older questions that I did kind of miss, I think, so I'm gonna answer them now. From Kuyen and Yuyen, I really like how honest and detailed your reviews are. I'm planning to buy a wallet, the Emily, and an Alma BB. They will be my first LV purchase ever. But now I wonder whether the Emily will fit inside the Alma BB. I plan to use the Emily as my full-time wallet and hardly will switch it out. I also plan to get the Chanel mini accordion style wallet. It's called mini quilted wallet in case my big wallet doesn't fit. I have a few mini bags that don't fit full-size wallets, so I'm a bit nervous. So she was asking me whether the Emily fits in the Alma BB, and it does. I'm pretty sure I showed it in like what's in my bag video of my Alma BB. But I don't recommend it necessarily on a daily basis. It's not that it's not okay, it's definitely okay and it definitely will fit, but every time you take it out or put it back in your bag, it just will, you run the risk of just scratching the glazing on your Emily on the zipper of the Alma BB. So that's the only thing I would be sort of worried about. So you just have to be extra careful every time you take it out or put it back in. And of course it does fit, but then you also sort of have less space and it just becomes a little bit more cumbersome, just like the feeling where the bag is just like not as easy to use when you start putting things that are bulky in the Alma BB, because it is, after all, a smaller bag. It does fit a lot, but it's a lot easier to fit a lot of small things in a smaller bag rather than bulkier things in a smaller bag, if you know what I mean. So yes, it will work. In a pinch, it's great, but I don't recommend it on a daily basis. Janice Chan, hi Amy, do you have any quality issues with your LV Epi leather bags? I haven't had any issues whatsoever with my Epi bags, which is great. No glazing issues. It's kind of carefree, like you can bump into things here and there or into people here and there, because sometimes you just can't help it no matter how careful you are. And it doesn't seem to scratch or have anything, so that's great. The only thing I would say is with Epi, it doesn't lose its shape per se, but it can have like indents here and there, or depending on the shape of your items, if it bulges out, then it kind of gives that it makes the leather become less even and less smooth. Just imagine folding a piece of paper, then you'll always get that crease there, you know what I mean? So that's the only thing that I observe, but I think that's still, like in my eyes, that's normal. It is still leather. Leather does crease and leather does wear over time. Even canvas will do it. It just might not seem as apparent. So that's the only thing I would say. I think LV Epi leather is really, really good. My final question is by Sarah Savajanoha. Sorry for the butchering your name, sorry about that. I'm trying to convince my hubby that Chanel is an investment, etc. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get my LV, so this really throws him off. How is your hubby with your luxury purchases? I'm sure that's a question that a lot of people want to know about other bag lovers. I do have a decent collection, and even before I started YouTube, or even before I met my husband, I already buy LV bags. I mean, I didn't have a collection that I have now. I think I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I might have had like 4 or 5 bags and SLGs at the time when I met him, so it wasn't as crazy. It's definitely not as crazy as now. That kind of gave him the expectations of like what kind of stuff that I like, and plus you can tell just from looking at my style and just looking at how I shop and things like that. I spend my own money on my own bags, so in a sense I shouldn't feel guilty about it, but you know, you are together now, you are an entity together now, so you do kind of have to, like, I guess, consider how the other one feels about it, as if you were chatting and just sort of like show him pictures or whatnot, or talk about like a bag that you're like, oh, I'm so obsessed with, or it's so nice, or whatever, or it looks so nice on whoever, and blah blah blah. So like just kind of that easing that your significant other into like the notion that, okay, you know, she's up to something or she likes something, so she probably will end up getting it. And I'm not doing it just so that I can convince him that I want to get it, that it's okay to get it. It's only because I am really that passionate about, say, the next thing on my wish list, and if I can't keep talking about it and I keep thinking about it, then it's nice to be able to share what you're feeling, and as long as he is loving, he loves you, then he will eventually support you, like at least morally support you, knowing that eventually you might get it, and or even when you get it, that he knows that you're happy and he knows that that makes you happy, even though for him it doesn't make any sense at all. So I hope that was helpful. These were really great questions. Thank you so much for asking them. Keep them coming if you want to have another Q&A next week, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye. The reality is, to be able to connect and share and interact with you guys is just my privilege, and I thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart.